Binu sir, good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Binu sir. Good afternoon, Augustine.
Soji, you may please continue.
Yeah, with the prayer.
Sir, let us start with a prayer. Okay, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings from St. Berkman's College, Changanaശ്ശേരി. Welcome to the national webinar on habit formation for personal growth, organized by Department of Physical Education and IQAC of St. Berkman's College, Changanaശ്ശേരി. Respected Principal Dr. Jacob Matthew, today's speaker, Dr. Binu George Varghese, who is inaugurating this webinar. Our resource person, Dr. Augustine George, sports psychologist. Dr. Moby Thomas, convener of this webinar. Respected teachers, students, and other participants of this webinar. Welcome to this seminar. Now, may I request Dr. Moby Thomas, HOD, Department of Physical Education, for the welcome address. Oh, sir.
Thank you, Soji. On the outset, good afternoon to every one of you, and I'm so happy that to see most of our fraternity people on this webinar, and I'm so happy. After a long time, I'm seeing most of the faces, some of the faces after a long time, we have been thinking about organizing this seminar, this webinar actually, in fact, quite some time. And we had a lot of webinars, or a period of 6 months, and a lot of webinars specifically in our field. But I don't think that we are late. But sometimes the saying goes like this, it's better to be late than never. Okay, so anyway, that's how it happened, and may welcome Dr. Binu George Varghese. I don't think that Dr. Binu George Varghese needs an introduction. But still, just for the sake, I would like to say a few words regarding Dr. Binu George Varghese. He's a very young, very enthusiastic leader of our School of Physical Education and Sports Sciences, Mahatma Gandhi University, and not only that, he took his leadership to our states too when we organized the national games, the Kerala state, when we organized the national games, he was one of the main pillars who handled. But that time he was also the secretary of Kerala State Sports Council. So he was there for 2 years, and he did a wonderful job during that time. He did this tremendous work, lot of changes when he was in the office, specifically in the Sports Council. So that is what I would say about Dr. Binu George Varghese. And on behalf of St. Berkman's College, on behalf of Department of Physical Education and our sports fraternity, I take this opportunity to welcome Dr. Binu George Varghese, Director, School of Physical Education, Sports Sciences, to this national webinar. Dr. Binu, you're most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. And I would, it is. I feel so proud. I feel so proud, and I feel a little bit privileged to welcome Augustine, because Augustine is too good. I'm telling you, he is too good. Okay, Dr. Augustine, and he's good specifically in his area of interest, that is sports psychology, and he been doing it this webinar as a resource person in different webinars. And he is actually doing a wonderful job, taking our fraternity, specifically the sports sciences, to a different level. And I'm so very, very happy about it. And I feel so proud to welcome Dr. Augustine George, who's a resource person, to this national webinar. Dr. Augustine, you're warm welcome. I extend a very warm welcome for you to this seminar. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
And as a formality, I don't think that Dr. Jacob Matthew is our beloved principal, and he's my elder brother. So, but still, I am it's a matter of formality. I welcome my beloved principal, Dr. Jacob Matthew, also to this webinar at the same time. And I also welcome each and every participant who has taken some time, who is actually logged on to this site for this particular national webinar. And once again, I welcome everyone, all of you, to this national webinar. And at the same time, I would request our beloved principal, Dr. Jacob Matthew, to please address the participants of this seminar.
So thank you, Dr. Moby, the head of the Department of Physical Education. Mr. Soji, our guest of the day, Dr. Augustine George, then Binu Varghese, guests of all of the invited guests, teachers, dear students. I congratulate the Department of Physical Education for organizing national webinar on physical fitness area. This is organizing as part of the Fit India program. So I am very happy. I congratulate our friend and head of the department, Moby, and his colleague, Soji, for initiating this kind of program, which is very useful for our future generation, that is youngsters of this time. All know that actually we are experiencing a different kind of situation. Actually impacted us in all spheres, physically, economically, etc. We are trying to get over this COVID. So slowly we are picking up and coming to the normal. Of course, we still facing a lot of problems. We cannot remain as such. Find different ways to get over this which is a reality. Fit India program കൂടെ നാഷണൽ ഗവൺമെന്റ് ഉദ്ദേശിക്കുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യം ആരോഗ്യമുള്ള ഒരു ശരീരത്തിൽ ആരോഗ്യമുള്ള മനസ്സുണ്ടാകും, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ തിരിച്ചും ആരോഗ്യമുള്ള മനസ്സിൽ ഒരു ആരോഗ്യമുള്ള ശരീരം ഉണ്ടാവും എന്ന് രണ്ടും അങ്ങോട്ടും ഇങ്ങോട്ടും നമുക്ക് വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾക്ക് ഈ ഒരു ഫിറ്റ്നസിൻ്റെ ഒരു ഐഡിയ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഈ കോവിഡ് സമയത്ത് നമ്മൾ കൊടുക്കണം എന്ന് ഞാൻ സാറിനോട് പറയുകയും പ്രവർത്തനങ്ങൾ ആരംഭിക്കുകയും ചെയ്തു. അത് ഇങ്ങനെ ഈ ഒരു വളരെ എക്സ്പേർട്ടുകളായ രണ്ട് വിശിഷ്ട അതിഥികളെ നമുക്ക് കിട്ടി. അതായ ഡീറ്റെയിൽസ് പറയുമെന്ന് ഞാൻ വിചാരിക്കുന്നു. നമ്മുടെ കുട്ടികൾക്ക് ചില ഡയറക്ഷൻസ് ആവശ്യമുണ്ട്. കാരണം അവർ മനസ്സുകൊണ്ട് വളരെയധികം ആണ് എന്ന് എനിക്കറിയാം. കാരണം അവർ ഭാവിയിലേക്ക് അവരുടെ ഭാവി ഒരു പ്രശ്നമായിട്ടാണ് നിൽക്കുന്നത്. കാരണം പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഫൈനൽ ഇയർ സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന് ഒത്തിരി എക്സാംസ് നിൽക്കുന്നു. വെല്ലുവിളികൾ, വേറൊരു വശത്ത് അവസരങ്ങളുടെ കുറവ്, പല പ്രശ്നങ്ങളിൽ നിൽക്കുന്ന നമ്മുടെ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾക്ക്, പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾക്ക് ആരോഗ്യമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട് നമ്മൾ ചില കാര്യങ്ങൾ ചെയ്യണം. അത് അവരുടെ ശാരീരിക ആരോഗ്യവുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടാണ് നിൽക്കുന്നത് എന്നുള്ളത് നമുക്ക് അറിയാം. രണ്ടും തമ്മിൽ ഒരു കണക്ഷൻ എന്ന് ഈ ഒരു വെബിനാർ വഴി മനസ്സിലാവും, അവർക്ക് മനസ്സിലാവും എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്നു. ഓർഗനൈസ് ചെയ്യാൻ തുടങ്ങിയ നമ്മുടെ ഫിസിക്കൽ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടും ഇവിടെ വന്ന് നമ്മുടെ ക്ഷണം സ്വീകരിച്ചെത്തിയ വിശിഷ്ട അതിഥികൾക്ക് ഡോക്ടർ അഗസ്റ്റിൻ ജോർജിനും ബിനു വർഗീസ് ഒരിക്കൽ കൂടി ഞാൻ സെന്റ് ബർക്ക്മാൻസ് കോളേജിന്റെ പേരിൽ നന്ദി പറയുകയും ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് എല്ലാ വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾക്കും ഇത് നല്ലൊരു സെഷൻ അനുഭവമായി തീരട്ടെ. ഇതിന് ശേഷം ഒരു ആരോഗ്യമുള്ള ശരീരം, ആരോഗ്യമുള്ള ഒരു മനസ്സ്. അതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ഈ ഫിറ്റ്നസ്സും ഡയറ്റും തമ്മിൽ ഒത്തിരിയധികം ബന്ധമുണ്ട്. ബന്ധപ്പെട്ട കാര്യങ്ങൾ വേർഡ്സുകൾ ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുമെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്നു. ഈ കോവിഡിന്റെ സാഹചര്യത്തിൽ പറ്റാവുന്ന ചില എക്സസൈസുകളൊക്കെ അവർക്ക് പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുക്കും. കാരണം ഇപ്പം മിക്കവാറും മൊബൈലിലും ലാപ്ടോപ്പിലും ഒക്കെ ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ ജീവിതം കഴിച്ചു കൂട്ടുന്ന നമ്മുടെ പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട വിദ്യാർത്ഥികൾക്ക് അതിന് എങ്ങനെ ഒരു ബ്രേക്ക് കൊടുക്കാം, കുറഞ്ഞ ആയിരിക്കുന്ന അവസ്ഥയിൽ എങ്ങനെ നമുക്ക് ഈ ഒരു അവരിലേക്ക് കൊണ്ടുവരാൻ പറ്റും, അതൊക്കെ ഈ ഒരു വെബിനാർ കൊണ്ട് നടക്കുമെന്ന് എനിക്ക് തീർച്ചയുണ്ട്. കൂടി എല്ലാവർക്കും സ്നേഹത്തോടെ എല്ലാവരെയും ഈ സ്പേസിൽ സെന്റ് ബർക്കിമെൻസ് കോളേജിലേക്ക് ഞാൻ സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു.
Thank you, Dr. Jacob Matthew, for your principal of St. Bernard's College, Chennai, for your inspiring words. He is a great scholar, produced a number of research articles, and he is a research guide. Actually, he is the man behind this national webinar. He was the motivator for organizing such an event. Thank you, Jacob Matthew, sir. Next, we have Dr. Binu George Varghese. Dr. Binu George Varghese, the Director, School of Physical Education and Sports Sciences, Mahatma Gandhi University, is an academician and great organizer. He was the former Secretary of the Kerala State Sports Council. During his tenure, he was the backbone of National Games, which was a great success. Under his able and dynamic leadership, MG University won many All India championships. His able leadership helped Mahatma Gandhi University to become one of the best sports performing universities in India. Now, I cordially invite Dr. Binu George Varghese for inaugurating this webinar.
Most respected Principal of St. Bernard's College, Dr. Jacob Matthew, my colleague Dr. Moby Thomas, Sri Soji Joseph, my colleague Dr. Augustine, and indeed my privilege to be part of this national webinar on habit formation for personal growth. We congratulate the Department of Physical Education of St. Bernard's College to conduct a national webinar on topic. Habit formation is a process by which behavior becomes automatic. Habits the person acquires either intentionally or without or unintentionally. As you all know, habit in the personal growth of an individual. Until unless we don't have we cannot mold up a good individual who can in turn contribute to the society and to the community. And this topic has very much relevance during this of COVID-19. How the routine of ours has been changed. We are forcibly or confined to be at home, and we are, most of us, day-to-day activities or day-to-day routine which we are following before the pandemic, COVID pandemics. So I personally believe that habit formation for personal growth is a great topic which has to be deliberated in depth, and I hope that will have a detailed deliberations on these areas, and I hope that all the delegates participating in this national webinar will cooperate and have a positive dialogues in this regard. As you all know that habits, home is the first place where getting inculcated in you. And apart from home, then is the school and colleges or the peer group. And the peer group has a great role in developing habits in an individual, which are automatically cultivated in us, and few which we intentionally cultivate. Possible that we more or we just guide the students or guide the younger generation to cultivate healthy habits. As you all know that the best way to develop a healthy habit is to have a good intrinsic motivation to develop this. Until unless you don't have an internal drive to develop good habits, audible with the audience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the peer, as I said, the peer group has a vital role in developing habits in individual. As you all know, the younger generation, the present younger generation, most of them they get prey to many unhealthy habits such as getting involved in drugs, smoking, or having all these are habits which we develop intentionally, or many a times we develop this unintentionally as we see all these things happening in our peer group. So it's always better, and teachers, and especially the physical education teachers, have a great role here to guide the students to refrain from negative habits. With these words, I inaugurate this national webinar, and I hope that you'll have healthy discussions and deliberations on this most relevant topic, that is health for personal growth. I inaugurate this national webinar, and I once again congratulate the Department of Physical Education of SP College for organizing a worthwhile seminar, national webinar.
Thank you, Dr. Binu George, Director, School of Physical Education and Sports Sciences, Mahatma Gandhi University, for your inspiring words. Now we have Dr. Augustine George, who is the resource person of this webinar. He is a great scholar by all means. He has brought laurels for himself from various departments. He was the first rank holder in BPE from LNCP Trivandrum in 1998. He has passed in second rank for Master of Physical Education from LNCP Trivandrum. Then he has completed his MSc Psychology from University of Madras. He has qualified the NET, and he has done his PhD under the research leadership of Dr. J. Singh Acharya, HOD, Sports Psychology, LNP Gwalior, and he has a lot of personal experiences in conducting various webinars, and he has been working in various institutions like Evanis College Trivandrum, Marcus Engineering College, Government College Koilandi, Government RIT Pambadi. Now he is working as assistant professor in the Department of Physical Education, Government Medical College Kottayam. He has a lot of publications, and he is a research guide in MG University, and he has a lot of publications and awards for his honor. Now I invite Dr. Augustine George, who is the resource person for today's webinar. Welcome, Augustine sir.
Thank you, Soji sir.
Augustine, one second.
Yes.
Before starting this, and I would like to say one thing to all the participants. I think we can dedicate the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes for question answers or discussion on this topic. Rest of the time, I think you can carry on with the subject, and that time I think all the participants can mute their mics. So the last 10 minutes, I think that will be better. Instead of intervening you in between, last 10 minutes, let us keep it for discussion on the topics which we had to discuss today. Okay, is it okay with everyone? I think that'll be fine. Is it okay, Augustine?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Yeah. So now may I request to Augustine to please carry on.
Okay.
Take it over.
Okay, the guest of today's program, Dr. Binu George Varghese, Director, School of Physical Education and Sports Sciences, Principal of Berkman's College, Dr. Jacob Matthew, Head of the Department of Physical Education, Dr. Moby Thomas, Coordinator of today's program, Sri Soji Joseph. A warm good afternoon to all of you. So I'll be presenting a topic on habit formation for personal growth. So this is a very relevant topic as far as our growth is concerned, personal growth is concerned. So I will share my screen right now, and with that I will keep on explaining the different aspects of it. I request the participants to see each aspect, and if they have any doubts, any clarification, please write it down, and towards the end we can have a discussion. So I will present my screen. So is my screen visible?
Yes, it is there. Yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
Augustine.
Okay.
It's it.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. Okay. So habit formation for personal growth. I will start with a quote given by Aristotle that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act but a habit. It means if you want to excel in your life, you need to have good habits, and then only you will excel in your life. Now, what are habits? Binuja sir already said a few things about habits. Now, for most people, habit is something they do normally, spontaneously, regularly, without paying attention, without thinking or bothering about it. That is habit. That is without thinking and without bothering about it. As shown in the picture, some have the habit of nail biting, some pick their nose, and sometimes they do it without thinking about it in the public. And some have the habit wrong eating habits. These are all habits which we form. They think that they can form a habit as well as break it easily. Now this is very important. You see, we think that we can form a habit and we can break it easily, and presume that breaking can be done as and when they want it. We eat it, we start drinking alcohol, we say we can stop it as and when we want it, but then we may go wrong. So that is habit. Now, how do you know what are good and bad habits? Because we all know that good habits will help us to grow in our life, and that is what is required for personal growth. Now I request all of you to just think about yourself, that what all habits you have, whether good or bad. If you have a pen and paper with you right now, it will be much better if you can write down these habits, the the habits which you have, the good habit and the bad habit. Just list it down. What are the different good habits and bad habits you have? And the guiding principles, how do you know what are good and what are bad habits? Bad habits do not need great efforts, willpower, and motivation, either to form or maintain. For example, eating junk food. We can start at any time, because these bad habits, they give a lot of pleasure. So you start it as and when you want it. It doesn't require willpower and motivation, contrary to the good habits. And often you want to hide your bad habits from others. This is one way by which you can find that, is that my bad habit or good habit? You feel embarrassed or guilty once someone knows about this. For example, if someone of you have a habit of addiction to mobile games, addiction to alcohol, addiction to drugs. So these are bad habits, and we feel guilty if some others know about this. Stealing is one of the bad habits. But there is no way you can hide any bad habit in the long run. So this is what I want to stress once again. If you have a bad habit, in the long run, it will be visible. it will show on your health. Your body language reveals it. I remind you, what we speak through our words just gives 7% of communication, what we speak through our words. The rest all is body language. You may speak good things, big things, but your body language reveals otherwise if you have bad habits. So it is better that we break our bad habits and develop now a good habit versus bad habits. A little more, I'm trying to understand the subject, what it is actually, because this habit, this part is very, very important, because it determines whether you will succeed in your life or not. So habits, reality, habits are behavioral response to stimuli. Frequent repetitions can make this response form behavioral patterns and function automatically. As Binu sir said before, that these habits are the automatization of our behavior. So this behavior, something which we do, which we like doing, we keep on doing it, and it becomes an automatic response. People say circumstances makes a person, but you know what psychologists say? They say circumstances reveals a person. ഒരു സർക്കംസ്റ്റാൻസ് വരുമ്പോഴാണ് ഒരാൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് നമുക്കത് മനസ്സിലാകുന്നത്, ആളുടെ സ്വഭാവം മനസ്സിലാകുന്നത്. You might have encountered this in various situations. Circumstances doesn't make a person, it actually reveals the person. And good habits are difficult to form. Bad habits are very easy to form. And it's difficult to break bad habits. And good habits are easily broken upon. So this is about good habit versus bad habit. So you know how important it is to nurture good habit and to break bad habit. How hard it will be to break bad habit. Once again, which will make it a little more clear about bad and good. Few examples, like sleeping late night is considered generally as a bad habit, and the good is getting up early. So there is a saying, go to bed early and rise up early. Then delaying okay, we will exercise, we'll start from tomorrow, and this tomorrow never comes. So delaying. And the good habit is doing it in time. If you change from this delaying to doing it in time, it will do wonders in your life. Then disinterest in health and hygiene. Some people you have seen, they are not at all bothered about their health. They keep on eating. Actually, India now is overburdened. They already have a problem with poor nutrition, and now India is overburdened with overnutrition. People, the purchasing power of people have increased, and many people, they keep on eating fast food, junk food, without thinking about anything else, and they develop a habit. And as I said before, that then it becomes automatic. They don't think, even if they are not hungry, they keep on eating food, and that too junk food, and as a result they will spoil their health. And they are not at all bothered about their hygiene. If you go to their homes, you will find all in a very bad condition, everything in a very bad condition. And the good one is maintaining fitness, that is doing exercise every day and keeping the surroundings clean. You know, many diseases, they have their source from the surroundings. Mosquitoes, all these diseases, it comes through unhygienic practices. Then some have gossiping and criticizing others, and the good habit is says only good things about others. Develop self. See, many people have this habit of criticizing others. It is a bad habit. criticism will not take you longer. Sooner or later, the other person will come to know what you have said about him or her, and they will have an ill feeling towards you. And remember, it is the people around you which makes you happy. Your parents, your siblings, your friends, your teachers, your neighbors, they are the people, they are the significant people who will make you happy. Why people are committing suicide? They have lost the connection between the significant people. There is no harmony in the relationship, and as a result, people go for the extreme step of suicide. So people are very important, and this habit of criticizing or gossiping, if you stop it and if you make it opposite, that is, when you say only good things about people. Everyone has shortcomings. Even I have shortcomings. Every big person have shortcomings. But if we see the positive qualities and if we focus on the positive qualities, then see there will be a change, Then wasting away your time and watching TV, surfing on the net is a bad habit. When you use time discreetly, it's a good habit. Then eating untimely, whenever you feel hungry, you eat, and you have not kept a meal planning, you have not done meal planning, and you eat whatever comes in your way. Sometimes you don't eat. That is considered as a bad habit. And eating in time, eating healthy food is something which will take you higher. And then stealing things is a bad habit. Being honest and trustworthy, this is one of the thing which is required. In whatever job you are, whether you are studying or whether you are doing a job, this habit, being honest and trustworthy, is a scarcity now. And employers, they look for this. If they found you to be honest and trustworthy, you will be kept no matter what happens. So you will become very indispensable. You cannot be avoided. You will become such a person. So this is another good habit. Now, I hope you have written by now few bad habits of yourself and few good habits about yourself. I will tell you a story. The story is Nails on the Wall. Some of you have already heard this story before, but still I found this story to be very relevant here. One father, his son was very mischievous. He keeps on doing wrong things. So as a father, he used to tell him that, beta, you should not do this, you should not do this, try to be like this. But he never listened. So his father thought, for every one act of his misdeed, his father will nail a nail on a wall, vacant wall in his storeroom. So he started doing that. For every one misdeed of his child, he started nailing nails. The son used to fight with his friends. He used to beat them. Slowly he started stealing things. It's a very mischievous child. Sometimes he came home abusing his teachers. He fought with the parents. He fought with his siblings. And when he became a teenage, he fell in love with a girl. The girl refused his offer and he molested her. There was police case and he was ashamed. But from that also he came out. And one day, when he was just moving inside the house, he happens to go to the storeroom and he found this wall where all these nails were there. All the nails, many nails were there. So he got curious. He asked his father that why this many nails are there. The wall looks so ugly. Why don't you remove it? His father said, Beta, whenever you did a wrong act, I nailed one nail on that wall. And his son was ashamed. He looked and said, oh, this much of wrong acts I did. So what can be done now? His father said, now whenever you do a good thing, I will remove these nails. At that time, the son realized that he was leading a very bad life and he should come out of it. He should change himself. He started doing good things. He joined a college. He started studying well. He concentrated on his studies. And when he started behaving well with others, he got good behavior in return. And his self-esteem, he started growing up. And whenever he did a good deed, his father started removing nails from that wall. And one after another, he keep on doing good things. He got motivated now. He used to come and see that wall, that how nails are being removed. And one after another, nails were getting removed. After completion of his graduation and post-graduation, he got a very good job in a company. He became a chief executing officer of the company. He went to the girl whom he molested and anyhow convinced her to marry. The girl married him and their life was very successful. He became very famous person. He started donating things. He started adopting orphans. He started paying for their tuition fees, and he was doing a lot of good things. And when the last nail was removed, his father invited him to come and see that wall. And when he went there, he saw that the wall is still ugly with the marks of the nail. And he asked his father that now I have a completely transformed person, and now why this wall is so ugly? And his father said, see, for every your good deed, I have removed the nail, but then it leaves an indelible mark. So bad habits are like that. So it's always better not to get into bad habits. If you get into bad habits, then it leaves an indelible mark, no matter how better or how a good person you becomes later in life. Now let me tell you about the habit cycle, how the habit is formed. So it starts from the top, the orange one, where there is a thought or stimulus. And this habit cycle is for both good habit and bad habit. Suppose you have a thought or stimulus, then based on that, you do an action, and then you may get a reward or punishment, and then habit is formed. I will tell this with another story, this habit cycle with another story. There was a boy, and he was so loved by his mother. So one day, this boy, when he was in UKG standard, he saw a very attractive rubber of the boy sitting next to him. He was so fantasized by that rubber that he took that rubber എടുത്ത് പോക്കറ്റിൽ വെച്ചിട്ട്, and so the stimulus here is the rubber, and the action, what action he did is he has taken that rubber and he went home. And in the home, the mother, and she was so proud of her child, and she was so much loving him, that after seeing that rubber, she didn't say anything. She thought, why to hurt this child? He's a child afterwards. Let him enjoy. And at home, when this boy saw this rubber, that this rubber is with him now, and he's the master of this rubber, that was a sort of reward for him. He found that, yes, it is mine. It was a reward. And the habit of stealing was sowed in him. If the mother would have corrected him that no, you should return it back tomorrow, say sorry and return it back tomorrow, it would have been like a punishment for him, and he would have understood that this is not a good thing. But what the mothers did, she just helped the boy to get the reward, and the habit was formed. And afterwards, when he reached to second standard, he was again attracted to a pencil, very attractive pencil. He took the pencil home and nobody said anything. And again, that was the habit was reinforcing. Formation of the habit, it is reinforced. It's a negative habit, bad habit, but it was reinforced. Then as years rolls by, he went into 9th standard, 10th standard. He started stealing different things. He started stealing pencil box as a whole. He started, when he went to college, he started stealing watch, money, other valuables from his friends. And then it becomes a part of his personality. This habit has become a trait. It has become a part of his personality. And being a part of his personality, he has become a professional thief. And then he thought, after college, he thought that now he should do something big. He has become so professional in stealing things. He should do something big so that he can lead a very good life. So he thought to rob a bank. He went in, he arranged one revolver, a gun, just to scare the people if any trouble comes. He went into the bank and he was robbing the bank when the manager, a very stout fellow, he opposed it. And in a fit of fury, Deshathil, when anger comes, it clouds your intelligence. He took the gun and he fired the manager. And the manager died on the spot. He was caught by the police. He was sentenced to death sentence for killing manager while robbing a bank. So now you can say, what was his life? Was it a success or failure? That is a grey one, the next cycle. It's a failure. And when he was in jail, when he was about to be hanged, his mother came there sobbing. He wants to see his son for the last time. And this son told jailer, I don't want to see her. Because when I stole a rubber in my UKG class, if she would have said me, corrected me then, I would not have reached to this position now where I am. So this is habit cycle. Now you see another good habit, how it is formed. I will like to share about Sachin Tendulkar's in his autobiography, which most of you have read it right now. That thought or stimulus that his elder brother inspired him. And after getting inspiration from his elder brother, he also took cricket and he used to play cricket. So action is playing cricket. The reward is the enjoyment, the sheer joy which he used to get after playing cricket. And in that book, he's saying that how they used to play cricket in the terrace of their house. And every time, in every 10 minutes or 20 minutes, the ball will go down and he will get down, he get the ball, climb up the stairs, and again they will play there. And when they keep on playing the whole day when there is holidays. And he never, it doesn't make any problem for. Hello, sir. Soji sir, screen sharing is not visible.
Not visible, sir.
Is it visible now?
No, sir.
Yes?
No, sir.
It is not visible?
No.
Okay. Sir, once again, I will exit and I will again, once again, I will join.
Okay.
Will it be okay?
The Sir, hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir, I think you can continue, sir.
Okay, okay. But yeah, is it visible, sir, now?
Not now, but you can continue, sir. Don't waste the time.
Okay, okay. This, yeah. Okay, so that is how the habit is formed. This is the habit cycle which I said, and that is how the habit is formed. So now from where do we get these habits? We get this habit from the peer group. Hello?
Sir, please continue. No problem.
Sir, is it visible now?
Yes, yes, now visible, sir. Continue.
Okay, okay. So this is how the habit is formed. Now, if you ask from where do we get these habits, it's from the peer group influence, from our friends, from the environment where we live, and from hereditary too, from our genes. But much depends on the individual perception and belief to retain a good habit or to change a bad habit. Now, breaking bad habits, how will you break the bad habits? It involves a rewiring of the brain and reconfiguring the habit chain loop. The brain does not know how to differentiate the good from the bad. The brain, if the brain gets the pleasure out of it, it will form that a habit. The brain doesn't know that whether it is a good or a bad habit. So the best way to stop this bad habit is stop the way you started it in tiny bits. In tiny bits. Suppose you are addicted to alcohol or smoking. Stop it in tiny bits. Like next week, in a week, if you drink every day, you reduce the frequency. You make it 2 days a week, and then 1 day a week, then once in 2 weeks. In that way, in tiny bits. So alcoholic addiction, starts with the first sip that was repulsive to taste and body when you have been to alcohol. And similarly, your first attempt in changing a bad habit has to start in a tiny bit and then gradually increase. The frequency of use has to reduce. Bad habits generally don't disappear forever. So are good habits. It's like hidden six-pack under your fat tummy. Six-packs is there present in everyone. But the fat above the six-pack is not showing these six-packs. Sorry, sir, how much time have been allotted?
Sir, no.
1 hour. Okay, fine. My own personal experience. I had an habit of having too many coffees. So when it was, too much of coffee is not a good idea, and it is bad for your health. So when I realized it, what I did, I replaced the coffee with hot water. So whenever I feel like having a coffee, I will take hot water and I will sip it, and there is no withdrawal symptoms. Suppose when I don't have coffee, as some of you have experienced, you will get headache. But when I replaced it with hot water, that headache is not there. So that withdrawal symptom is not there. So you can replace a bad habit with a good habit. Then reinforcing the good habit in testing times. In testing times means when the bad habit, when there is very much impulse to have that bad habit. For example, in my case, if I tell you the coffee, coffee like I am stressed. I got stress on the I want coffee. If I purposefully I used to take hot water only. It is like a reinforcing good habit. Bad habit break. Then the procrastination, when you are overwhelmed to see a big task, You divide it into pieces, into manageable chunks. ചെറിയ ചെറിയ ഭാഗമായിട്ട് divide ചെയ്യുക. One day you will write only 5 pages. The next day you will write the next 5 pages. In that way, you cannot eat an elephant. How will you eat an elephant? You can eat an elephant only bit by bit. So in the same way, so people, IAS officers, they are so busy, but you see how many books they release in a year. From where do we get all this time? We have 24 hours. They have also got 24 hours, not more than that. But in that 24 hours, they are able to do all these things. They do bit by bit in a manageable chunk. And energy level sinks when you can't see the finish line. Finish line, whenever you start something, you should see the end line. എവിടെ എത്തും? ഞാൻ ഒരു സാധനം, ഒരു good habit ഇന്ന് ചെയ്താൽ visualize where it will reach. Then most bad habits are formed because of a negative emotional state, such as boredom, frustration, or depression. So counter lethargy by activity. Keep yourself really busy and overloaded in various aspects of your life and career. നമുക്ക് boredom വരുമ്പോൾ maybe say empty mind is devil's workshop. So അവിടെയാണ് bad habits വരുന്നത്. Don't keep your mind empty. Keep on doing anything. Keep on doing anything for your life and career. Keep on doing anything. Keep yourself busy. Now, one more thing which I would like to know you, all of you, is about Zeigarnik effect. This is very important for developing good habits. So please pay your full attention. Zeigarnik effect. This is actually on Bluma Zeigarnik. She was a Russian psychologist, and she first described the Zeigarnik effect in her 1927 doctoral thesis. And this effect is, it is a tendency to experience intrusive thoughts about an objective that was once pursued and left incomplete. അതായത് നമ്മൾ ഒരു കാര്യം നമ്മളത് ചെയ്യണം എന്ന് വെച്ചിട്ട് നമുക്കത് ചെയ്യാതിരിക്കുക. നമ്മൾ ഒരു ജോബ് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്തു, പക്ഷെ അത് പകുതി വെച്ച് നമ്മൾ ഉപേക്ഷിച്ചു, നമ്മൾ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. Then there is an automatic system in our brain which which tells you that the activity is incomplete. You have left something incomplete. അത് അങ്ങനെ പറയുമ്പോൾ that is an intrusive thought. നമ്മൾ പുതിയ ഒരു കാര്യം ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് നമ്മുടെ മൈൻഡിൽ പറയും നമ്മൾ അത് പണ്ടത്തെ അത് ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ലെന്ന് നമ്മൾ ഇങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് നമ്മുടെ മൈൻഡ് ഫ്രീ ആകത്തില്ല. Our brain become heavy, and as a result we won't be able to concentrate on our present job, and we experience dissonance, ഒരു disharmony. അത് പലവർക്കും ഇത് എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ചെയ്ത് കാണും. എസ്പെഷ്യലി ഇത് നടക്കുന്നത് ഒരു ഇമോഷണൽ ബ്രേക്കപ്പ് വരുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക്. when two people are in love and they dream of so many things like having children, doing job, and living a very wonderful life, but then due to some of the other reason break off happens, and then they feel very depressed for years. We have seen people. So it is because of Zeigarnik effect, because അവര് വിചാരിച്ച കാര്യം അവർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയില്ല. So that is കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയില്ല. അപ്പൊ അത് മനസ്സിൽ കിടക്കുകയാണ്, അത് കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയില്ല. And that is the source of depression and sadness. That is Zeigarnik effect. So keep this in mind. We'll be using Zeigarnik effect to build good habits. So that was about this thing. Now you have seen that some people, they are friends, they say that I will stop this, and from the next day they have stopped it. If they say I will stop smoking, they stopped it. And some people, they will say I will stop this, but they are not able to do it. They continue it, and somehow or the other these bad habits keeps on coming. But for some, the very next day they will stop it. So what makes them to stop it? The answer lies in dopamine. So before going, what is dopamine? And bad for them. Perceiving correctly that a bad habit is really harmful despite its short gains or rewards. And these most rewards are linked with dopamine. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter in the human brain that is linked with motivation and reward. It is a chemical that induces pleasure. It gives you pleasure. When dopamine is released, you feel very good. So this dopamine can be released when you do bad habit like smoking or drinking or indulging in antisocial activities. This, but it is the brain is not making the decision whether it is good habit or bad habit. The brain is only depending upon the pleasure, but it is the self-awareness of the person to visualize that, no, if I go like this, if I derive pleasure from these negative things, then it will spoil my life. So it is that capability which makes the person to leave the activity. So that's why I said you have to write down your good habits and bad habits. At least when I said, you might have written, few of you might have written, and there is a sort of self-awareness which is taking place. And I must advise you all that you keep some time with yourself, where you spend with yourself, where you keep thinking about yourself, that where are you and how are you doing things. Just analyze yourself, then it will be very better. And you see, like countering dopamine, like pleasure seeking, it's difficult but not impossible. Accept that sad and depressive times are part of our lives. Always accept. See, for every person, there will be sad and depressive times. They are normal and are required to experience the happiness of best times. Because, see, now we all are going through a pandemic period. So after this, there will be a morning. If this is night, there will be a morning. There will be a day when this pandemic will be over. So this pandemic has come and everything has gone. There is an end to it. This will also pass. So this type of quality in your mind you have to build. Then only you will be able to counter the dopamine effect. So, and auto telling your brain that it's okay to be unhappy because you want to experience happiness, and reinforcing in the mind that you will stay calm and cool despite testing moments, visualizing a fulfilling and meaningful life for the future. Now I was telling about Zeigarnik effect. Now how to use Zeigarnik effect for productivity? I will tell my example that a few months back, around 5 to 6 months back, I have gained overweight, and my blood pressure shoot up, my creatine level shoot up. My creatine was 1.7, and when I look into the mobile, it was showing that your kidney is damaged, and my blood pressure was diastolic was 95. And then I started bringing lifestyle modification in me, and sorry, and there where I have used this Zeigarnik effect for productivity. This effect, Zeigarnik effect, as I said before, if you start doing something and if you leave it incomplete, then there is a feeling, a guilt feeling inside it that you are leaving it. So how to do exercise? So I got myself convinced that exercise is the answer, and you have to do exercise plus diet control. So exercise, how you will do exercise? So what I did is I used this Zeigarnik effect. What I did is, morning I will get up from my bed, I will take my cycle and I will stand on the road. That is the only thing which I think of. I will do only that much. And if I think that morning Ravale Nete, I have to cycle for 7 to 8 kilometers, I will never get up from my bed. I will rather sleep. So it is human. So what was my objective is just to get up from my bed, go to the road, wear my costume, take my cycle and go to the road, stand on the road. That is the objective. And once I am able to do that, once I am able to stand on the road with my cycle, then automatically I will cycle for another 5 to 6 kilometers. Automatically I will cycle. So that is the productivity of Zeigarnik effect. So since unfinished activity gives anxiety, it is important to focus on an activity and stick to till its completion. If you start it, finish it. Don't leave it in between. This is an important growth habit you need to inculcate in your personality. So now tomorrow onwards, when you want to do something, you have made sure that yes, I will inculcate so and so thing in my life. I will say yes to exercise. I want to exercise in the morning. So this effect, just try out this. Don't think about that you are going to walk 5 kilometers or you are going to run 5 kilometers. Don't think about it. Just get your costume and just get your clothes and just start walking. Much anything more about that. So once you reach that spot on the road, you just think that I will go on the road and I will come back. Once you reach on the road, you will not come back. You will complete 5 kilometers and then you will come back. And after completing, the joy which you get is wow, that is really worth. So formation of good habits is just like forming gold. You know how gold is formed when it is burnt, when it is all the impurities are removed, and then the shining gold metal come out. So diamonds, it is like just like that. So formation of good habits is like that. You have to put effort, otherwise it will not come. So whatever I have said, I have said it already. And now these good habits and success, these few things, 7 things which I have taken from the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, written by Stephen Covey, is a very wonderful book. And in that book, what whatever happens to you is because of you. Don't point fingers at others. Whatever happens in your life, you are responsible, no one else. Develop that psyche. That is, we call it internal locus of control. You can't blame anyone. To you. If you win, you are responsible. If you lose, you are responsible, no one else. And begin with end in mind. Visualize your victory. Whenever you do a thing, when I started doing exercise, I visualized that after 6 months, I will lose this much kg. My weight was 75 kg and now it is 69. It's well below that. My blood pressure came back to normal. My creatine level came back to normal. And I have a very positive set of my mindset. And, there is a sea of change in myself. So begin with end in mind. So I have visualized that yes, these all things will come back. So that is what it is saying. So whatever thing you are doing, whatever thing you are going to start, if you're going to write a book, you visualize the things in the end. I have a few books under me, and whenever I start writing a book, I visualize the end, that when I complete the book and when the publisher publish it, then the joy which you get when I post it in Facebook and all, the joy which you get, that you have accomplished one thing, and that is begin with end in mind. It will motivate you. And first thing first, do things based on importance and urgency. There are many things which doesn't require any effort, or things which are very trivial, or which you need not attend. So don't waste your time on that. You do things which is important and which is urgency. Then think win-win. When you work in an organization, there should be a win factor for you as well as for others. Then seek first to understand, then to be understood. Then synergize, work in a team, develop we feeling. Then sharpen the saw, that is, develop your resources. So you will do exercise for physical renewal, and you will do meditation and reading for mental renewal. So I end my session with a quote from Dr. APG Abdul Kalam. He says, "You cannot change your future, but you can change your habits. And surely your habits will change your future." So thank you very much for giving me a patient listening. And now it's over to the coordinator.
Soji, are you there? I think we can go ahead with the discussion. If anybody has any queries or anything to be discussed, I think we can go ahead with that, and I think we can spare maybe around 10 minutes for that. I think that'll be fine.
participants can ask any questions regarding this topic, and the resource person will give you the reply. Please.
Yeah, the forum is open for discussion. Okay. Anybody, please feel free to discuss, because it's a homogeneous group, so I think we should actually come up with some. Most of you, so at least some of you will be having some doubts. So I think it will be better, you can clarify it, and that is definitely going to add more knowledge to this group. I think that should be the way. Okay. And as Augustine rightly said, the developing habits, that really good habits, the habit can be a bad habit, can be a good habit. So developing a good habit and to mold yourself as a good individual, a good citizen, and a good person to your family, then your society, then for your state, for your nation, and then it goes to the entire globe as a whole. I think it's a very, very important aspect, And my experience is like the kids or the youngsters, they tend to develop these bad habits very, very, very fast. It's very quick. The peer can have a very, very bad influence, when it comes to developing bad habits. So until and unless we have to clarify these things, and then you have to have a real. It has to be crystal clear in your mind. Then only you can help change, and to change, make change in others. I think it's very, very vital. It is very, very vital. Okay, because you also, even Dr. Augustine shared some of his experiences. Okay, how one could, I've got a little thing to add on to it, because it depends upon the kind of will, the willpower, or the priorities. You prioritize things. Okay, so that comes only when you grow chronologically, and when you have more knowledge, you acquire wisdom. Okay, that grows, that takes little time, and to break off from this bad habits, it is not so easy, because it goes very deep into your mind, and pulling it away from your mind, it is not a small thing. It takes a Herculean task. You need tremendous amount of willpower to break off from the bad habits you develop, either in your younger age, or even in your middle age, or even after that. So this is actually what I have experienced actually in my life. I don't even mind sharing one of my experience, rather the bad habit which I inculcated when I was young. Okay, I used to be a very bad smoker. I started smoking when I was very young, and that is a very bad habit. My parents tried, my elders tried. Even though I used to do very serious athletics those times, and probably during the off-season time when I used to smoke, and that went on and on and on, and everybody tried. And sometimes, as Dr. Augustine said in his lecture. So he said, you sometimes you think that you can stop it. Okay, you're going to. So I used to tell, okay, I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to stop it. But it didn't happen. It never happened. It never happened. So until or unless it actually strikes you in your heart, and you yourself will have to take a bold decision to change. So something happened, so it went on, and I left, and I really thank the Almighty to actually help me to quit that habit for probably in 1994, because it was an incident which actually hurted me, or it actually went into my heart, and it really changed my mind, and it changed me into a totally different person, because even my the entire human physiology had changed, because of my smoking habit. But thank God, and I could just stop it. I could just stop it.
Sir, one question
Yeah.
has arrived in chat box.
Yeah, please.
Augustine, sir,
Yeah.
how does the sports activity helps in developing good habits in children?
Yes, sir. Very good. Very nice question. Actually, how does sports activity helps in developing good habit? Actually, why we tell children to practice sports is because of this one thing, that to develop them good habits. Because sports, sports and games, sports and games is result oriented. So when a student participate in a sport and game, and when he loses a match, but he wins also, when he wins a match, he realizes that how he has win the match. So many factors are there that why he has won a match. It may be because of his hard work, because of the teamwork, many other factors. So once a student realizes it, and once he tastes win, then he understands that yes, if I do good things, then I will get achievement, and that will help the student to this value which he has learned in sports. He has a carryover value in life also, and in life also he will apply this, and that's how it will help a student to develop good habits. Hope I have made myself clear.
Yes, sir. Any more questions? You can post this in the chat box or you can ask directly to our resource person.
I think there is no more questions.
Sir, hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Hello, sir. So my name is Rohit, and I'm a student of St. Bergman's College and Mobisa's class. Okay. So
Okay,
I just
tell
want
me.
to compliment something which I already said here.
Yeah,
So you mentioned the a book written by Stephen Covey, Dr. Stephen Covey, The
yeah,
Seven Habits of More Highly Effective People. And
yeah,
I used to be someone who used to take classes and give lectures based on these kind of things. And I find it that there's one more part, the eighth habit. That in that book, the first book, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, he mentioned exactly the same points which you are discussing. That is to be proactive, begin with the end in the mind,
yeah,
and so on.
yeah,
And the eighth habit, the second part, the progressive part of that book, he mentioned that this the methodologies that we can adopt to implement these habits. Okay, basically the main point that he is emphasis on is that we should adopt these habits by transferring that habits to someone else. That is by teaching someone else.
mm,
And I have given this piece of advice as habit based on this habit formation, our vocabulary, communication development, life skills, and all. Number of times to a minimum of 1,000 students in the first 1 year.
mm,
But still, it's only like 1%, 1 or 2% of students who actually adopt that things.
mm.
See, so I presume that you are someone who is having much more broad experience than I do. So I would like to ask you one question then.
Yeah.
So what's the main reason why most people see after listening to this lecture, most people like they're like they want to change the world. Okay, we are going to change the horizon. We are going to change the system. We are going to inculcate better habits. We are going to transfer other people. We are going to motivate these habits, other people to take up these habits. But only 1 or 2% of them get successful in that. So what do you think is the actual reason behind that?
Yeah.
That gap between this motivation and the implementation step.
Yeah, I will tell you. See, actually, success comes to very few. Okay, if you see the big people in the world, those who have made their presence felt, like Albert Einstein, or in that matter, if you say J.K. Rowling, and many others, even sports persons, you see the background of them. So in their past life, they have suffered like anything, and they are so hungry for success that is the one motivation which helped them to reach to the level where they are now. So their past life has given them so much of discomfort, so much of other bad things, that they want to get out of that anyhow. So the people, even the listeners in this group, those who are very much for this success, those that we call it as a burning desire for success, they will get successful after applying these techniques. For others, you see, all the comforts are there, life is going on, they are happy, it will not come. As Mobi sir also said, that one incident helped him to change that bad habit. So that incident, that is a big joy. So these type of incidents, when it come to individual, then the individual will rise up, and then he will use all his resources, all his potentialities, and then he will come and he will raise from this to an extraordinary level. So I feel that it's very personal, and once an individual, until and unless he has a burning desire to excel in the field, then only he will excel. But how to excel? These are the strategies, So these are the strategies which is given by, as you said, in that book. And there are many self-help books. So through these books and through this motivation, how they will, then they become selective also. Then they will get all these things. They will digest all these things. Many of the people, they don't digest it now. But once you feel that, yes, it is required, this is how I can excel myself, then they will give their 100% attention. And then they will become very selective in attaining all the things, good things, and then making them resourceful. So I think that is the reason why very few become successful in life, and others, they just carry on a mediocre life. I hope it's clear, Rohit.
Yes, sir. So can I add something, compliment something?
Yeah.
You mind?
Yeah.
So it's just a question. I want to start with the question. So when you look into any organization, even a college, a school, or anything in the memorandum or the diary of that institution, what's the first page? First, there are two statements which are mentioned in the memorandum of every institution. So what's that, sir? It's vision and mission, right, sir?
Yeah.
Vision and mission.
Yeah.
The vision determines what you want to become, and the mission determines how you are going to become that person. That's the problem, sir. From my experience, I identified this to be the problem. Nobody is having a purpose. Sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, I didn't hear.
So,
you're audible now.
Yes, okay, sir. So from my experience, I identified that the reason behind this gap is that people are not having a purpose. Okay, they are doing something for the sake of marks. They are studying for the sake of having a graduation certificate and like that. They're not having a purpose. They don't know what knowledge, and knowledge is nothing but nothing if it is not converted into wisdom, right, sir?
Yes, it is the potential power. It is the potential power knowledge, potential power. But when it is used, then only it will become a power.
Yes, sir. Everybody has opportunities, and the person who utilizes that the most effectively is the one that is successful, right, sir? And this particular lacking of this feeling of purpose is the one thing that is hindering those people. See, when one person is trying to quit smoking, okay, he just want to quit smoking. The purpose is that he should be able to live a happy and healthy life there. And he's not at all inculcating or focusing on that purpose part of this action is the reason why he is not able to sustain on his goals, and this habit is rebounding. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think that from my experience, I know, and nowadays I'm telling people to, for the first, if I meet a person and they tell me, I want to become this person. Okay, why do you want to become this? Why do you want to do this? A person can give you answers for 3 consecutive whys. Okay. When some person is going, I want to study MSW. Okay. Why do you want MSW? Do MSW? If that person, okay, I want to do service to the world. Okay. Why do you want to do service to the world? It gives me satisfaction. What kind of satisfaction? Why are you going for pursuing that satisfaction? If a person can give 3 answers to 3 levels of whys, I will say that person is having a purpose, and that's pretty much I want to share right here, sir.
Yes. The voice is breaking. Hello. Voice is breaking.
Sir, I think I'm pretty much done. I think I'm pretty much done with that question, and that's it. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time, sir.
Okay, welcome.
Augustine, sir, shall we wind up?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I think there are our questions. Now let me come to the duty of thanking our resource person and others. First of all, let me thank our chief guest of today's webinar, Dr. Varghese, who inaugurated this webinar on behalf of the Department of Physical Education and IQAC of St. Bartman's College. We thank Dr. Varghese for inaugurating this webinar and giving us a valuable talk. Thank you, Vinu sir. Next, I would like to thank our principal, Dr. Jacob Matthew, for giving the keynote address. He was very vital in this organizing this program. He was the backbone for this webinar. I thank Dr. Jacob Matthew for our principal for being a part and parcel of this program. Thank you, Dr. Jacob Matthew. Now, let me thank our HOD, Dr. Momi Thomas, who is the convener of this webinar. And also, we have our resource person, Dr. Augustine. It was an inspiring talk, sir. Your experience has reflected in this webinar. I thank our resource person, Dr. Augustine George, for making this session valuable and also interfering with and answering the questions asked by the participants. Thank you. Now, let me thank the teachers from various colleges for participating in this webinar, and also let me thank the participants, each one of you, for attending this with patience. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Some instructions are there. The link for our feedback form is given in the chat box. You can enter directly into that link and you can fill it and submit. Then the certificates will be issued to within 1 or 2 days. Okay, please feel free to call. That number is given there, contact number, myself and officer. Please, you can view that. Thank you.